Hi, my name is Eddie Archer with 4Kids in South Florida, and I imagine you're watching this because you want to take your child through a journey to become their whole and genuine selves. And the 4Kids Epic approach is meant to do just that. And what we love about this is that it's not just a model or an intervention. This is good parenting. So let's take time and talk about the letter C of the Epic approach, which stands for character. We believe the best way to build the character of a child is through modeling from a safe adult. Now, there are two truths to consider. One, we can't take a child where we ourselves have not been. And two, if you burn out, everybody loses. So you have to take care of yourself. So we're going to take a look at our 0 to 100 chart, except this time, we're going to pay attention to you, the caregiver. And we're going to talk about how do you take care of yourself at each stage of the behavior. All right, so let's get started with our chart. Do you remember? Again, we have our line 0, 100, all right, 20 and 80. And let's get started right over here, 0 to 20. One of the important things to remember is to use humor. I want you to learn to laugh and make laughter a very real part of your home life. Make sure it's not sarcasm and make sure it's not degrading. But like I said earlier, learn to use a hearty laugh that lightens up the room, because humor keeps the environment light, but it also keeps you in mind of joy. So let's make sure also that you're taking care of yourself. That means you're eating well, you're exercising, you're taking care of your closest relationships like your marriage. And of course, you're meeting your spiritual needs. So let's move on to the 20 to 80 range. Here, we want to be aware of your emotions. Remember, what we're getting from our kids at this stage is a lot of defiance, a lot of resistance. They're saying no. And what's important is that we can ignore behavior all day, but you can't ignore how you feel. So acknowledge your hurt and do something productive with it. You know, something else to remember is do not engage the power struggle. Give them choices and get out of the battle. Right? We want our kids to know that they are enough, that they don't need to earn your love or earn your approval. But before we can do that for them, you have to do that for yourself. Listen, if no one has told you this before, let me be the first. You are enough. You are good enough. You're wise enough. You're compassionate enough. And you were made for this. So let's move over to the 80 to 100 range. And here we remember that the child is out of control. They are out of control of the situation and themselves. And as a parent, we're watching this and we ourselves may feel out of control. But here's some things that I want you to remember. One, this moment is not forever. You know, sometimes we're watching as things kind of begin to roll out and our mind races and deceives us and makes us think as if this moment is going to produce a child that is always dysregulated, that is always getting in trouble, that will never be able to do relationship. And I want you to stop. This is just a moment. Help them get through it. One of the other things I want you to remember is to let go of control. You know, there's a certain point where we're watching this behavior fall apart. We're watching our child fall apart, and everything inside of you as a parent is screaming, get control back. And I want to remind you at the 80 to 100 range, this is not the time for obedience and compliance. Meet them where they are. One of the last things is focus on what the brain is doing, not the behavior. Realize that when a child enters this stage where they are completely out of control, their body is being pumped with adrenaline, they are in a rush, and essentially they're just trying to get out of the situation alive. And if we understand that this is an issue that the brain is doing, not necessarily a malicious issue of their behavior, then we can bring in resources and help them address it. So when this is all said and done and the child has returned back to zero, back to their real selves, I want you to give yourself permission to take care of yourself. That might mean going somewhere and just crying. Acknowledge your pain and process it in a healthy way. And a healthy way might mean keeping a journal. It might mean joining a support group, taking breaks every now and then, maybe starting a new hobby. But the truth is that if you don't discharge your pain in a healthy way, it's bound to resurface in very unhealthy ways. Again, if you'd like more support, feel free to reach out to us here at 4Kids. Thank you.